Have you ever walked into a room and felt like no one saw you? Like your presence had somehow become quieter with age? It's not vanity, it's human. After all, we spend a lifetime being seen, being active, being visible. Then one day something shifts. But here's the truth. You haven't faded. The world just stopped noticing. But what if I told you there's a way to turn that light back on without changing who you are or wearing anything outrageous? It's not about Botox, not about trends. It's about color. Studies in color psychology reveal that our brains react to color even faster than they react to faces. And after 60, when our skin tone changes, certain colors can either dull us down or light us up. Today, I'll show you 8 colors backed by psychology that will help you feel radiant, confident, and yes, beautiful again. Not for others, but for you. If you're ready to rediscover your glow, don't forget to subscribe right now, because what you're about to hear might change how you dress for the rest of your life. And drop a comment. What color makes you feel most alive? Let's begin. 1. Midnight blue, the anchor of elegance. For decades, black has been the reliable go-to. It's timeless, sleek, and always in fashion. But as we grow older, something shifts. What once gave us power in our 30s or flattered us in our 40s can start to feel harsh. Black begins to emphasize what we'd rather soften, deepening the lines around our eyes, casting shadows beneath our chin, draining the warmth from our face. That's where midnight blue steps in, not as a replacement, but as an evolution. Midnight blue carries the same dignity and sophistication as black, but it does so gently. It softens instead of hardens. It lifts instead of dragging. There's a quiet magic in how it frames the face of a woman over 60. The eyes appear brighter, the skin takes on a subtle glow, and the entire presence feels more approachable, yet authoritative. It's the color of the night sky just before the stars come out. Deep, still, full of promise. Caroline, a 66-year-old poet from San Francisco, told me something I'll never forget. I wore a midnight blue silk scarf to my book launch. I hadn't worn anything that deep and dark in years. I thought it might make me disappear. But the compliments that night, they weren't about the scarf. They were about my eyes. People told me I looked like I had something to say and that they wanted to listen. And isn't that exactly what we long for? Not to be stared at, but to be seen. To have our presence felt before we've even spoken. Midnight blue offers that presence. It's a shade that commands respect without raising its voice. It's strong, but never loud. When worn as a blazer, it becomes your armor. When worn as a scarf, it becomes your whisper. A silk blouse in midnight blue paired with ivory trousers exudes balance, both grounded and luminous. Psychology studies have even confirmed that midnight blue evokes trust. People perceive those in darker blues as competent, calm, and emotionally stable. That's why navy and midnight shades are often used in uniforms, on political stages, and in leadership roles. But when a woman wears it, especially a woman who's lived, who's learned, who's led, it takes on an entirely different depth. It speaks of wisdom, of experience, of knowing who she is and not needing to prove it. Whether you're attending a wedding, going out for brunch, or simply walking through your day with quiet confidence, midnight blue is your companion. Try it in structured jackets, soft knits, flowing dresses, or even accessories like gloves or a hat. The beauty lies not in the color itself, but in what you become when you wear it. Because the best colors don't just sit on your body, they mirror your soul. 2. Blush rose, the soft awakening. Blush rose is not the pink of youth. It is the pink of wisdom, of grace earned through decades of living, loving, and letting go. It's not bubblegum. It's not fuchsia. It's not here to be loud. Blush rose whispers. It beckons. It breathes. And in a world that often prizes volume, blush rose reminds us of the power in quiet presence. There's a reason color psychologists associate blush tones with warmth, empathy, and openness. It's a shade that feels like morning light, soft, forgiving, and full of possibility. For women over 60, when our features begin to gently change and our skin tone loses some of its natural contrast, blush rose becomes a secret ally. It acts like a soft focus lens, subtly diffusing shadows, smoothing lines, and adding a tender glow that makes you feel and appear luminous. But its beauty isn't only skin deep. Blush rose reflects something deeper. It's the color of kindness, the color of restraint, the color of someone who no longer needs to demand attention because she already knows her worth. Martha, a 70-year-old retired therapist from Oregon, told me she started wearing blush rose after a lifetime of navy, brown, and black. I always thought of myself as a serious woman, she said, and I dressed that way. But after I turned 68, I realized I don't have to prove my seriousness anymore. I want to wear softness. I want to feel gentle again. And she did. One day she wore a blush silk blouse to her granddaughter's school play. 3 different people approached her, not to compliment the blouse, but to say how peaceful she looked. And that's the magic of blush rose. It's not attention grabbing, it's attention holding. Wearing blush near the face, whether through a scarf, a blouse, or even a pendant, draws people in. It softens not just your features, but also the mood in a room. It makes conversations more welcoming. It quiets tension before it starts. Pair a blush rose top with gray or taupe trousers for a balanced, elegant ensemble. Add a cream cardigan or pearl jewelry to keep the look cohesive and timeless. For evening events, a blush shawl over a darker dress can transform your whole silhouette, illuminating your skin and your spirit at once. And don't forget your hands. Blush-toned nail polish or rings with rose stones can create a subtle harmony that feels polished but never forced. What's especially powerful about blush rose is its symbolism. In many cultures, it represents the awakening of self-love, not in a loud or demanding way, but in the way a woman, after years of giving, finally gives herself permission to feel beautiful again. Because true elegance isn't about being seen first, it's about being remembered the longest. And blush rose helps you do just that, with tenderness, with grace, and with that rare inner light that no one can quite explain, but everyone feels. 3. Moss green, the grounding glow. There's something deeply comforting about green. It reminds us of forests after rain, of ferns growing wild in the shade, of quiet parks where time seems to pause. And among all the greens, moss green is the most grounding of them all. It doesn't shout for attention. It anchors you. It centers you. It tells the world that you're steady, wise, and at peace with yourself. For women over 60, moss green offers something truly rare, a combination of richness and restraint. It has depth without darkness, vibrancy without aggression, and because it's rooted in nature, it resonates with the natural grace that comes from living through decades of change, challenge, and growth. Color theorists say green is the color of balance and restoration. It's associated with healing, renewal, and calm, all qualities that begin to matter more, not less, as we age. When you wear moss green, you're not trying to impress, you're inviting connection. It's a color that says, I have nothing to prove. I'm here. I'm enough. Let me tell you about Evelyn, a 74-year-old landscape designer from Asheville. I started wearing moss green during a difficult time, she told me. My husband had passed, my children had moved away, and I felt like the world had gone quiet. But something about that shade made me feel rooted again, like I could still grow, still bloom. She wore a moss green wrap to a community event one afternoon. A man she'd never met before, also a widow, approached her and said, "You look like you carry the forest with you." They've been walking together in the botanical gardens ever since. That's the effect moss green can have. It reconnects you to your stillness, and others can feel that stillness when they're near you. So, how can you wear it? Start with textures. Moss green comes alive in natural fabrics, linen, wool, or soft cotton. Try a moss-toned jacket over a cream blouse and beige slacks for an earthy, elegant look. In cooler months, a moss green scarf or poncho adds warmth without weight. Even a moss green handbag, leather shoes, or beaded jewelry can ground an outfit in subtle sophistication. And don't overlook how well this shade complements silver hair, deeper skin tones, and hazel or green eyes. It harmonizes with nature and with you. There's a quiet authority in moss green. It's not trying to be youthful or trendy. It doesn't care about seasons or fashion shows. It cares about truth, about balance, about the kind of beauty that doesn't fade because it was never based on appearance to begin with. When you wear moss green, you carry the message, "I've walked through storms. I've grown through winters, and I'm still here, rooted, alive, and blooming in my own time." And truly, what could be more beautiful than that? 4. Coral, the gentle spark. Some colors calm, and then some colors wake you up. Not with a jolt, but with a smile. Coral belongs to the second kind. It's like sunlight filtered through late afternoon trees. Warm, inviting, joyful, but never overwhelming. For women over 60, coral is a secret superpower. It has the unique ability to revive your skin tone, soften the edges of fatigue, and create an immediate sense of aliveness, inside and out. Unlike bright pink or loud orange, coral sits in the sweet spot. It's warm but not hot, energetic but not loud. And when you wear it, people don't just notice your clothes, they notice your glow. There's a reason why stylists and psychologists alike call coral a connector color. It signals openness, friendliness, and confidence without ego. It makes people feel comfortable around you. And more importantly, it makes you feel lifted, like you've rediscovered a tiny fire inside that you forgot was still burning. Let me introduce you to Joan, a 68-year-old former travel writer from Santa Fe. After my husband passed, and she shared, I went through years of wearing grays, blacks, and navy, safe colors, respectable. But one day my granddaughter gave me a coral scarf for Mother's Day. I almost didn't wear it. It felt too happy, but I wore it to brunch. And suddenly I was laughing again. Strangers smiled at me. I felt like a candle that had just been lit. Since then, Joan calls coral her joy color, and she wears a touch of it anytime she needs to remind herself that lightness is still allowed. That's what coral does. It doesn't erase the years, it celebrates them. It says, yes, I've lived through storms, and I still choose sunshine. In your wardrobe, coral can come in many forms. A flowing coral blouse paired with cream trousers feels effortlessly elegant for daytime outings. A coral cardigan layered over a white dress offers contrast that's both vibrant and classy. Even a simple coral beaded necklace or earrings can brighten your entire expression. For those hesitant to go bold, start small. A silk coral scarf near your face, coral tone lipstick, or a woven belt with coral threads. These tiny details still carry the energy of the color, gently lifting everything around them. And don't worry about the season. Coral works just as beautifully in autumn, paired with rich browns or deep olive, as it does in spring with soft whites and beige. What matters most is how it makes you feel, because sometimes after a lifetime of caring for others, enduring heartbreak, and navigating change, you forget what it's like to feel sparked again. Coral doesn't just brighten your look, it reignites something in your spirit, something playful, courageous, and alive. Before we continue, are these colors making you rethink your wardrobe yet? If so, pause and hit that subscribe button. There's so much more I'd love to share with you. Colors, confidence, and the art of aging with grace. Your support helps this wisdom reach other women too. 5. Lavender, the soulful whisper. Some colors speak in volume, others sing in softness. Lavender doesn't arrive, it floats. It's the scent of a memory, the color of a quiet prayer, the feeling of calm in the middle of chaos. And for women over 60, it's a color that mirrors something sacred, the strength of gentleness. Lavender isn't about trying to be noticed. It's about allowing yourself to be felt. This delicate hue, balanced perfectly between blue's tranquility and pink's compassion, has been shown in studies to lower stress, soothe emotional tension, and inspire trust. Psychologically, it's associated with reflection, spirituality, and grace. And when worn by a mature woman, lavender becomes more than a color. It becomes a statement, a quiet one, but unforgettable. For those of us entering our third act, lavender offers something rare. It illuminates without demanding. It catches the light in your eyes. It softens the silver in your hair. It adds warmth to your smile. It makes you glow from the inside out, not by erasing age, but by revealing the beauty within it. Sandra, a 73-year-old piano teacher from Vermont, told me she wore lavender to a concert where she hadn't played in over a decade. I didn't want to wear black. It felt too final. I didn't want to wear red. It felt like I was pretending to be someone I used to be. Lavender felt like me, still here, still soft, still full of music. That night, 3 women in the audience asked her where she got her dress. But more importantly, one of her former students whispered, "You look like peace walking across that stage." That's what lavender does. It carries dignity without distance, strength without sharpness, a softness that isn't weakness but wisdom. To wear lavender well, think of texture and placement. It works beautifully in chiffon blouses, cashmere cardigans, or lightweight shawls. A lavender linen button-up paired with white jeans feels fresh and sophisticated. In cooler seasons, a lavender wool coat or gloves adds a poetic touch to darker outfits. Lavender also pairs seamlessly with ivory, gray, navy, or soft taupe. These combinations create a calming palette, perfect for days when you want your presence to feel both grounded and light. Don't forget the subtle ways to weave lavender into your life. A pair of gemstone earrings, a silk headband, or even a swipe of lavender-toned eyeshadow can change how your reflection looks and how your heart feels. Because lavender reminds us that we don't have to be bold to be seen, nor loud to be heard. In fact, in a world full of noise, sometimes what people remember most is the whisper. 6. Charcoal gray, the silent strength. Not every color needs to sparkle. Some colors carry a different kind of power, the kind that doesn't need to be announced to be respected. That's the essence of charcoal gray. Often misunderstood as dull or too neutral, charcoal gray is one of the most commanding shades in a mature woman's wardrobe. It doesn't try to outshine. It doesn't compete. It stands, solid, quiet, unshaken. And for a woman over 60, that's a perfect mirror of who she is becoming. Not someone trying to impress, but someone rooted in who she already is. Charcoal gray is the color of presence, a presence that is calm, collected, and deeply aware. Unlike black, which can sometimes feel too severe or draining on mature skin, charcoal gray offers depth without darkness. It flatters without overshadowing. It brings out the best in other colors, soft blush, ivory, lavender, navy, while holding its own with quiet authority. Helen, a 75-year-old retired judge from Philadelphia, once told me, "I wore black my whole career. Courtrooms expected it, but when I retired, I wanted to feel powerful in a new way. Not because I had a gavel in my hand, but because I knew who I was." Charcoal gray gave me that feeling. It made me feel composed, elegant, still sharp, but softer around the edges. That's exactly what charcoal gray offers: refinement with warmth, strength with empathy, leadership without ego. In practice, charcoal gray is endlessly versatile. A well-fitted charcoal blazer instantly elevates any outfit, especially when paired with a soft-tone blouse in blush or cream. A charcoal knit dress can be your canvas. Add a colorful scarf or bold earrings, and the look becomes as expressive as you are. Even more casual pieces, a gray wool coat, soft trousers, or a chunky knit sweater, can give your everyday wardrobe an understated elegance that never feels try-hard. And for evenings, charcoal in satin or velvet creates an ambiance of luxury that speaks without shouting. Here's a secret: charcoal gray lets your personality take center stage. It doesn't distract, it doesn't demand, it gives you the spotlight and quietly steps aside. And there's something beautifully poetic in that, isn't there? Because by the time we reach 60 and beyond, we've said enough, we've done enough, we've proven enough. We don't need neon to be noticed. We need grace, depth, resonance. Charcoal gray is the wisdom of still waters, the authority of a voice that doesn't rise but never wavers, the warmth of a woman who knows when to speak and when her silence says more. 7. Warm terracotta, the earthbound muse. Terracotta has a richness that feels both ancient and modern. It whispers of pottery, sunsets, and desert elegance. This color brings out the warmth in your skin, the kindness in your smile. It's earthy, grounded, and surprisingly sensual. Diana, 69, once wore a terracotta dress to a reunion. "Every woman wore black," she laughed, "and I felt like the sun in the middle of winter." That's the power of standing out with warmth, not volume. 8. Ivory, the final grace. We end with a color that never ages. Ivory is quiet, confident, and timeless. Unlike stark white, it flatters mature skin, offering a glow rather than glare. An ivory blouse, a long flowing cardigan, or even a strand of pearls on an ivory sweater can make you look elegant without trying. And most importantly, it reminds others and yourself that refinement never goes out of style. So which of these colors spoke to you the most? Was it the grounded moss green, the commanding charcoal, or perhaps the royal lavender? Here's what I want you to remember. The colors you choose are not just about how you look. They reflect how you feel. And when you choose colors that make you feel radiant, you will be. Don't let anyone tell you your time to shine has passed. Because truthfully, you're just beginning to glow differently. If you found this helpful, share it with a woman who deserves to feel radiant. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, because there's a world of wisdom waiting for you here.